Let us now continue in the adhikara of samana adhikaranena, which as we know runs from 2149 to the end of this first quarter of the second chapter of the Ashtadhyayi. Sutram we are taking up now is 2151. Tadhitarthot तरपद समाहारे च. Vritti says तद्धितार्थे विषये उत्तरपदे च परतः समाहारे च वाच्ये दिक्संख्ये समानाधिकरणेन सुबन्तेन सह वासमस्येते स च तत्पुरुषः. The anuvritti of Diksankhye is of course coming down from the prior sutram 2150, Diksankhye Sanyayam, which we have studied. So the meaning of the sutram is, in the following three situations, a subantam padam denoting either a direction of the compass or a numeral combines with another subantam padam referring to the same item, samana adhikaranena subantena, and the resulting compound is a tatpurushaha. The three situations are as follows. The first one is in the context where the sense of a tadhyataha affix is to be expressed. So basically compounding is done with the understanding that a tadhyataha affix is to be added to the compound. So the compound does not stand on its own, it is part of a tadhyataha formation. It will become clear when we take the example below. Before that, let's look at the remaining two. The second situation is when a uttara padam, a final member of a compound, follows. That's the second situation. Third situation is when the compound denotes a samaharaha, an aggregate. The first note here says that dikshu samaharo nastyanabhidhanat, nasti anabhidhanat, which means that among words which denote directions of the compass, there is no usage where a samahara, an aggregate, is denoted. Thus, in the case of words which denote directions of the compass, only the first two categories are possible, not the third one of a samaharaha, because there is no such usage in the language. Next note says that asanyartham vachanam. This sutram is composed to cover those situations where the resulting compound does not denote a sanya, a proper name, and hence would not be permitted as per the niyama sutram restriction rule 2150 diksankhe sanyayam. Because if the compound denotes a sanya, then there is no problem. Diksankhe sanyayam allows the compounding. So we don't need this sutram in that case. This sutram is used when the compound does not denote a sanya, but we have one of these three situations specified in the sutram. Let us now take an example of each situation. First one is Shannam Matrunam Apatyam, Shan Maturaha, having 6 mothers. It is a name of the god Kartikeya, who was brought up by 6 Kritika mothers. The alaukika vigraha is Shash Am, Shashti Bahochanam, plus Matru Am, compounding prescribed by the Sutram 2151, because we do have a situation where the meaning of its adhyataha affix is to be expressed. The meaning here is tasyapatyam, meaning a descendant of that. We are going to be adding the tadhyataha affix an, prescribed by the Sutram 41115, and that Sutram describes the affix an in the sense of tasyapatyam. So we are in the first category here, in the context where the sense of a tadhyataha affix is to be expressed. Okay, the remaining steps of the compounding are quite straightforward. As per the Sutram 1243, Prathama Nirdishtam Samasa Upasarjanam, the term Shash Am gets the designation Upasarjanam because in the Sutram 2151, which prescribes the compounding, the term Diksankhe, which comes as Anuvritti from the Sutram 2150, Diksankhe Sanyayam, ends in the nominative case. And hence, as per the Sutram 2230, Upasarjanam Purvam, the term Shash Am is placed in the prior position in the compound. Now, Shash Am Matru gets the designation pratipadikam by 1 to 46. Krit tadhita samasascha, because we have formed a samasaha. This allows us to apply 2471 supodhatu pratipadikayoho to perform the look elision on the sup affixes and which are inside the compound pratipadikam, so we get shash matril. Now shash has a designation padam here by the sutram 1414 suptingantam padam. With the help of the paribhasha sutram 1162 pratyaya lope pratyaya lakshanam. So even though the affix am following shash has taken the look elision, it leaves a lakshanam behind. It leaves a mark behind, which we can use to invoke the sutram 1414 suptingantam padam. So shash does have the padasanya in spite of the affix am taking the look elision. This allows us to apply the sutram 8 to 39 to substitute the jash letter da in place of the letter sha, which is at the end of the padam. So we get shad matril. Now we apply 8445 yaro nunasike nunasiko va to give us shan matril. Now we apply 41115, which says maturut sankhya sambhadra purvayaha. We are not going to look at this sutram in full detail right now because we'll be digressing too much from our present topic of studying compounds. We look at this sutram again when we study tadhita pratyayaha. For the time being, let us briefly see what this sutram is saying. First of all, this sutram is in the adhikara of tasyapatyam, descendant of that, which is 4192. That is how we know that the affix an prescribed by this sutram 41115 is in the sense of tasyapatyam. Second thing is that the anuvritti of an is coming down from the sutram 4183 pragdivyatorn. So in fact this sutram 41115 is not for the purpose of prescribing the affix an, because that affix an is already available in the sense of tasyapatyam. The real purpose of this sutram is to prescribe the substitution u in place of the ending letter r of matru when preceded by either sankhya shabdaha, which is a word which denotes a numeral, or sam or bhadra. These three, any one of these three. When they precede matru, then the ending letter r of matru takes the substitution u when the affix an follows in the sense of tasyapatyam. So now we have formed a compound shan matru on the condition that the tadhita affix an in the sense of tasyapatyam is going to be added. So we now take shan matru am shashti bahuvachanam because we are in the adhikar of tasya at shashti vibhakti. So we have to add the appropriate shashti vibhakti, in this case am shashti bahuvachanam, to shan matru. Then bring in the affix an by the sutram 41115 maturut sankhya sambhadra purvayaha, and simultaneously the ending letter r of matru takes the substitution u and then uran raparaha. So we get ur. So we have shan matur am an. Now shan matur am an gets the designation pratipadikam by 1 to 46 krit tadhita samasascha, because we have added a tadhita affix. This allows us to apply 2471 supodhatu pratipadikayoho to perform the look elision on the affix am, the sup affix am, which is inside the pratipadikam. So we get shan matur an. Now the ending letter n of the affix an is a it by halantyam 133 and tasya lopaha 139. So we get shan matur a. Now we apply tadhiteshvacha madehe 72117 because we do have a tadhita affix an which has the letter n as a it. So we perform the vriddhi substitution in place of the vowel which is the first among the vowels of the angam. So in place of the letter a following sha, we substitute the vriddhi letter A. So we get Shanmatura. And the compound Shanmatura is an adjective since here it is qualifying Kartikeyaha is declared in the masculine gender. Let us now look at the second situation when a Uttarapadam, a final member of a compound, follows. Example here is Pancha Gavo Dhanam Yasya equals Pancha Gava Dhanaha, one whose wealth is 5 cows. This compound is actually a Bahuvrihi compound. So we won't go into the details of the derivation right now because we have not yet studied Bahuvrihi compounds. We can just mention that the sutram used for compounding is 2224 Aneka Manya Padarthe, which we will study in detail when we study Bahuvrihi compounds. The only point we're noting here is that the compounding between Pancha and Gavaha is allowed here because the final member Dhanam of a compound is following. Note here says that Dvandva Tatpurushayor Uttarapade Nitya Samasa Vachanam, which means that the compounding of a Dvandvaha or a Tatpurushaha compound is compulsory, not optional. When a Uttarapadam, a final member of a compound, follows. Now what is the big deal if the compounding is compulsory or not? Don't we get the same form Pancha Gavadhanaha finally? The answer is no. In the absence of this Vartikam, we would have a problem in the present example because in the case where compounding is not done, we would get the undesirable form Pancha Godhanaha as 5492 Goratadhita Luki would not apply. The Sutram 5492 only applies when there is a Tatpurushaha compound. So if we directly form the Bahuvrihi compound, then we will not get the form Pancha Gavadhanaha. We will get the undesirable form Pancha Godhanaha because the Samasantaha Pratyayaha touch prescribed by 5492 would not come in. The Sutram 5492 we are going to be studying shortly. The point we are making here is that even though when we looked at the vritti of this Sutram 2151, we said the compounding is optional. In the case of situation number 2, when Uttarapadam, a final member of a bigger compound, follows, the compounding of the Tatpurusha or Dvandvaha is not optional. It is compulsory. Okay, let us now take a look at the third situation. Example here is Panchanang Gavam Samaharaha equals Panchagavam, collection of 5 cows. Compounding is allowed here because the compound denotes a Samaharaha, an aggregate, a collection. Steps are quite straightforward. The Alaukika Vigraha is Panchan Am plus Go Am, compounding prescribed by the Sutram 2151. Taditarthottarapada Samaharecha. Now as per Sutram 1 to 43, Prathama Nirdishtam Samasa Upasarjanam, the term Panchan Am gets the designation Upasarjanam because in the Sutram 2151, which prescribes the compounding the term Dik Sankhye, which comes as Anuvritti from the Sutram 2150, Dik Sankhye Sanyayam, ends in the nominative case. And hence, as per 2230, Upasarjanam Purvam, the term Panchan Am is placed in the prior position in the compound. Now, Panchan Am, Go Am gets the designation Pradipadikam by the Sutram 1246, Krit Tadita Samasascha, because we have formed a Samasaha. This allows us to apply 2471 Supodhatu Pradipadikayoho, perform the look elision on the sup affixes Am and Am, which are in the compound, so we get Panchan Go. Now, Panchan does have the designation Padam here by the Sutram Supting Antam Padam with the help of the Paribhasha Sutram Pratyaya Lope Pratyaya Lakshanam 1162. So even though the affix Am has taken the look elision, it leaves a Lakshanam behind which we can use to assign the designation Padam to Panchan, which in turn allows us to apply 827 Na Lopa Pradipadikantasya to elide the letter Na, which is at the end of the Pradipadikam Panchan and also at the end of the Padam Panchan, because Panchan now has the Padasanya. So we get Pancha Go. Now at this point we have to bring in the Samasanta Pratyayaha touch following this Tatpurushaha compound Pancha Go. For that we need the Sutram 5492 Gora Tadhita Luki. That will be our next Sutram.